What is up, guys? It is Robert at Gaming with Me, and welcome to a little discussion that I've always wanted to make a video about this, and that's about difficulty in video games. Not too long ago, I made a video about video games that were way too hard as a kid, and I talked about stuff that, as a kid, it's a lot harder. But there's been an ongoing discussion in general about just kind of difficulty in video games, if you noticed. When it comes to Cuphead, when it comes to Sekiro, like all those types of games that are really damn hard, there's always a billion articles like, should there be an easy mode? Should there be this and that? And I don't think so. For me personally, I've always kind of seen it as whatever the developer intends, that's what I normally play on. So most of the time, for me personally, I play on normal difficulty if there is an option. And that's because normal is exactly that, normal. It's what everything was set on as the normal amount of health, hits you take, whatever it is. And so when you go into people like, oh, I only want to play hard, and then you go into hard. Hard to me is like, again, it's different. Easy is different. It's not exactly what the developer intended. It's what they intended for a difficult mode or an easy mode, but not the normal mode, what they generally intend. I always found this topic odd because I've always found it where a lot of people like to, sometimes be cacks and they like to tease people for maybe playing on an easy difficulty, and for some reason they think they get something out of it for being like, oh, you don't play on easy, then it's almost like you get a gamer cred off of you for some reason, because a single player game you should be playing at this type of level to be considered something. That's like the minority. It's not like that's all most people, but it's like you've probably seen it over the past years of internet, especially. You could see, and it's just kind of ridiculous, that whole idea, that mentality that you have to play something on something other challenge to be considered a gamer. That's that whole considered to be a gamer for anything is just absolutely bullshit. But whatever. To me, the difficulty in terms of easy, medium, and hard, it always depends on what I actually am enjoying about the game. So for instance, like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I was enjoying the game a ton, but like midway through, I was playing on normal the whole time, but then I kept dying, and that's fine, you normally die, but the problem was that every enemy takes forever to beat. Like you could be in a battle with a normal enemy for 10 minutes. You're just like, what the fuck? This is so long, right? And it gets these overly drawn out battles that I just kind of thought once, I just changed it to easy for one battle. And it became easier technically, but it was still the same amount of damage you would take. It's just the enemy's HP was technically smaller. And I've noticed that I just started having more fun with it. And I think that's just kind of the interesting thing where it's like, well, I think a negative to Xenoblade is the fact that those battles can go very long. And so if you can shorten it, that to me would be a positive. And the positive, the route to that is picking easy. And doesn't make the game easier to me because I would still die, but it's just that your battles would go quicker, and that was way more enjoyable because you face so many people. And that's kind of the thing about turn-based, is why I would play. Maybe currently I'm playing Fire Emblem on casual. I don't, or I think it's casual normal. I don't know exactly how that works, but I don't want my characters to die off. I just want to enjoy the game, play with my characters, go through these battles. And maybe I'd maybe go back and try out to see how far I could get with with my characters. Probably not that far. There are people that have fun by having a challenge. You know what I mean? There's people that have fun by only playing the hard difficulties, and that's awesome. It's you play how you want, and there's no reason you should be criticized at all for playing a specific difficulty. Because I love Bloodborne. Bloodborne is fucking awesome. And there's no difficulty. It's just fucking brutal. It's just hard. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that. It depends on the game, where it's like Yoshi's Crafted World was maybe just too easy. You know what I mean? I don't know how many times I died. Probably not a lot. And it just was too easy. It goes by a case-by-case basis, I think. Because you look at something like Kirby's Epic Yarn. Possibly my favorite Kirby game. And you don't even die in that game really. And that game's a ton of fun. I love that game. You look at something like Kingdom Hearts 3 this year. I really enjoyed Kingdom Hearts 3. But I think I died twice throughout the whole game. Like, it was, I mean, literally, it was really low. I remember I was almost at the end when I died for my first time. And I remember tweeting, like, is it odd? Did anyone not die in this game? Because I literally just did not die. And I don't remember if there was a difficulty, but I remember just not dying. And I was very shocked. And it was also fine though, because I was still having fun. You know what I mean? I don't mind feeling powerful and playing a game, but I'm in a Toy Story world, the Pirates of the Caribbean world. I'm having fun, you know what I mean? So for me personally, when someone kind of says, oh, well, how difficult do you want your game or something like that along those lines, I don't know what I would answer. And I know that's kind of what this whole video about is. Like, I just think I don't have I want this to be this kind of difficult. To me, it's just like, just make your game fun. Make your game good, entertaining, have solid gameplay, level design, all that type of shit. And I don't give a fuck if it's super hard or if it's super easy. I'm gonna enjoy it. That's why I find difficulty in video games so honestly interesting, because on one hand, it could technically make or break a game, but at the same time, maybe it doesn't. We always say it kind of does, but when there are these very easy games that you just have a blast with, and then there's all these very hard games they have a blast with, it probably really doesn't come down to anything about difficulty. It just comes down to, how does the gameplay, how does that the level design work, how's these characters, how's that story, is it good? All right, well, I'm gonna enjoy it. And I think that's something a lot of people don't realize, because to be honest, I don't think I realized for a while. But yeah, so I thought over the past like decade of playing games, hearing this whole difficulty kind of subject pop up every so often when kind of a hard game pops up, whether it be Cuphead or Sekiro that recently, you know, a lot of people think there should be an easy mode, and I don't think there should. I think it's just the way the developer intended. Those games were kind of based around difficulty, and that's what makes those games actually fun in a way. And that whole, you know, Dark Souls, Bloodborne type of series from software, those guys, you know, they always base their shit around difficulty, and that's what they do. But the thing is, it's not only that, it's the level design and it's the combat itself that makes that shit entertaining. And it's just the actual satisfying time you take to actually beat these enemies is what really adds up to that type of experience. And not every game can capture that just because you're hard. And that's what I've noticed over the past decade, that difficulty in all reality doesn't really matter. It's just how you use that difficulty in the setting of this game. You could bump it up to you know, super fucking hard difficulty in Gears of War 1 that I personally just recently played, and honestly it's just still not gonna be as fun for me. But yeah, that's literally what I've noticed, is that we always have this discussion about difficulty, but no one's actually brought up at the point that it doesn't matter difficulty, honestly. Some people like playing it, again, harder and stuff like that, but it's also the game itself that makes that difficulty fun. And if the game isn't good, that difficulty doesn't mean shit in the end of the day. And I think that's what's kind of interesting to kind of talk about. So yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about difficulty? What's your history with, like, maybe putting stuff to a lower difficulty, a higher difficulty, a normal, or just games without difficulty? How do you deal with one? Do you prefer having options, I guess, of difficulty? That's one thing also, is if there's no option, I would actually prefer a game that has no option in difficulty. Just make a game however you want. You don't gotta give me an option on difficulty wise. Just make what you think is the game. I don't know, but and maybe you could have some help along the way or something if someone needs help. But other than that, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Difficulty, it's interesting. I was gonna say interesting. It's interesting. I kind of wanted to make this video for a little bit, and I thought about it because I'm one that goes from normal to easy to just playing Bloodborne. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter like what the difficulty is. It's just, if your game's good, I'm there. So yeah, guys, Thank you so much for watching. If you didn't know, I make music. It's always in the link below, yo. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
That's why I constantly rise, stack rhymes higher than my height. But I guess that ain't that hard since I'm not even 5'5". But it's only time that I'll be as tall as one of Uzi's money lines. Trying to get compensation for my musical conversation. I'm pacing away and pasting 50 sentences. And every listen gets me one step closer to that mission. Thank you to you for giving another view accomplishing it. Thanks to Ariana Grande and Social House, exposing